Hi, my name is Quintero, and today we're going to answer this question, which is about quadrilaterals and the different properties of them. First, let's review the properties of the different quadrilaterals. First, let's review the properties of a parallelogram. For the sides, you have two pairs of parallel sides and two pairs of congruent sides. In the angles, you have opposite angles that are congruent and consecutive angles that are supplementary, which means that it makes 180 degrees. And for the diagonals, they bisect each other. Now let's review the properties of the rectangle. For the rectangle, we have two pairs of parallel sides, two pairs of congruent sides, and opposite sides that are congruent. For the angles, we have opposite angles that are congruent, consecutive angles, which make 180 degrees, and all angles that are equal to 90 degrees. The diagonals bisect each other and they are congruent. Let's review now the properties of a square. Sides. You have two pairs of parallel sides, two pairs of congruent sides, and opposite sides that are congruent. For the angles, we have opposite angles that are congruent and consecutive angles that are supplementary. All angles equals 90 degrees. The diagonals bisect each other. They are perpendicular and they are congruent. For the trapezoid, we have one pair of parallel sides that they are called bases. The angles from the left side equal 180 and the right side equals 182, and the diagonals are nothing special. For the rhombus, we have four sides that are congruent, two pairs of parallel sides, and opposite sides that are congruent. For the angles, we have diagonals that bisect the angles, opposite angles that are congruent, and consecutive angles. And for the diagonals, we have that they bisect each other and that they are perpendicular. A kite. Sides. Short sides are congruent. Long sides are congruent. Angles. Angle B congruent to angle D, and obtuse angles are congruent. And the diagonals are perpendicular. The small one gets bisect and the long one bisects accurate angles. Now let's go back to the question. It says, the following information is known about the quadrilateral ABCD. Segment BC is parallel to segment AD. Segment AB is not congruent to segment CD. An angle CDA is a right angle, which must be true of quadrilateral ABCD. A. ABCD is a rhombus. B. ABCD is a rectangle. C. ABCD is a trapezoid. And D. ABCD is a parallelogram. Based on the given information that we have, just find out what must be true of quadrilateral ABCD. The first choice that we have says that ABCD is a rhombus. To find out if that's correct, let's go back to the properties of a rhombus. Properties of the rhombus says that it has two pairs of congruent sides and two pairs of parallel sides. The first given information that we have here says that segment BC is parallel to segment AD, which is correct. The second given information that we have says that segment AB is not congruent to segment CD, but that's not correct because it says here that it has four sides that are congruent. So that means that choice A is not correct. Let's go now to choice B, which says that ABCD is a rectangle. Let's go back to the property of the rectangle and find out if that's correct. The first given information that we have says that segment BC is parallel to segment AD. The property of the rectangle says that it has two pairs of parallel sides and two pairs of congruent sides. So that means that that's correct. The second given information says that segment AB is not congruent to segment CD, but that's not correct because the property of the rectangle says that it has two pairs of congruent sides. So that means that choice B is not right. Now let's go back to choice C. It says that ABCD is a trapezoid. So let's go back to the property of the trapezoid and find out if that's correct. The property of the trapezoid says that it has one pair that are parallel, one pair of sides that are parallel. And the first given information here says that segment BC is parallel to segment AD. So that means that it must be true. It could be true that BC is the pair of sides that are true. Now, the second given information says that segment AB is not congruent to CD, to segment CD. We don't know if the sides in the trapezoid are congruent, so that given information could be true too. Could be also true. Now, let's see the third given information, that it says that angle CDA is a right angle. If we go back to the property of the trapezoid, we see that the left side of the trapezoid equals 180 and the right side equals 180. So that could be true about about this quadrilateral. Angle CDA could measure 90 degrees. If all the given information match with the property of the trapezoid, that means that a choice C is correct. But let's prove why D is not the right answer. It says that ABCD is a parallelogram. Why cannot be a parallelogram? Let's go back to the property of the parallelogram and find out why. The parallelogram have two pairs of parallel sides and two pairs of congruent sides. So segment BC is parallel to segment AD. That's right. But segment AB is not congruent to segment CD. So that's not right because it have two pairs of congruent sides. So that's why choice D is not correct. The answer is choice C. ABCD is a trapezoid. This is all. Thank you for watching me, and I hope you understood what I just explained. Bye.